Most of us move through social spaces without ever being taught how they actually work. We learn by trial, misstep, and quiet correction, adjusting our tone, our behavior, and our expectations as we go. When something feels off, we're told to try harder, communicate better, or be more confident without ever naming the structure we're moving through. Navigating social reality begins at the moment you realize the discomfort isn't always personal, it's often situational. It's awareness that the tension you feel may be coming from unspoken rules, shifting expectations, or roles you've never consciously agreed to play. Social reality feels tense because much of it operates without explicit rules. Expectations are implied rather than stated, and norms change depending on context, power dynamics, and who is present. What's acceptable in one room may be misread in another, leaving people constantly adjusting without clear feedback. This ambiguity creates internal strain. When outcomes don't match intentions, the default assumption is often personal failure, that you miscommunicated, misjudged, or lacked confidence. But in many cases, the issue isn't how you showed up, it's the environment's inability to offer consistent signals. Without a shared framework for understanding these dynamics, people internalize confusion that was never theirs to carry. Social reality becomes something you react to instinctively rather than navigate consciously. Think about a moment when you did everything right, but the outcome still felt wrong. You were polite, measured, and thoughtful, yet something shifted in the room. A comment landed differently than you expected. A boundary was taken personally. Your silence was interpreted instead of respected. Afterward, you replay the moment, trying to locate the mistake. You wonder if you should have said more, less, or something different entirely. But what's missing isn't a better sentence. It's a clearer understanding of the space you were moving through. Navigating social reality begins when you realize these moments aren't always about self correction. They're about learning how context, power, timing, and unspoken rules shape what's possible, regardless of how well intentioned you are. The shift happens when you stop treating every uncomfortable interaction as a personal flaw to fix. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you begin asking, "What's happening in this space?" That single change reframes confusion as information rather than failure. Navigating social reality isn't about mastering people or controlling outcomes. It's about developing awareness of the forces at play, expectations, incentives, power, and context, and responding with intention instead of reflex. When you see the situation clearly, you gain options. You're no longer reacting blindly to pressure, you're choosing how to move within it. This perspective restores dignity. It allows you to remain grounded even when outcomes aren't ideal, because you understand that not every tension is yours to resolve, and not every environment is designed to support clarity. Practically navigating social reality begins with slowing down your response just enough to observe what's being asked of you. Before reacting, notice the expectations in the room: who's speaking, who's being deferred to, what seems rewarded, and what creates friction. This awareness doesn't require judgment, it simply gives you context. From there, choose responses that protect your footing. You don't need to meet every expectation to participate. Sometimes the most grounded move is restraint. Sometimes it's clarity. Sometimes it's choosing not to correct a misalignment that isn't yours to carry. These decisions become easier when you recognize that your role in a situation is flexible, not fixed. Navigation isn't about perfect execution, it's about staying oriented, knowing where you are, what's influencing the moment, and how much of yourself you're willing to invest. Much of modern life asks people to adapt quickly without ever explaining the systems they're adapting to. Social rules shift across workplaces, relationships, public spaces, and online environments, often favoring those who already understand the terrain. For everyone else, the pressure is to intuit expectations while absorbing the consequences from getting them wrong. Navigating social reality means recognizing that confusion is often structural, not personal. It's the result of environments that rely on unspoken norms, uneven power, and emotional labor to function smoothly. When these dynamics remain unnamed, individuals are left to manage the tension privately, adjusting themselves rather than questioning the conditions. Understanding social reality at this level creates room for compassion and discernment. It allows you to move through complexity without internalizing every mismatch as a failure, and choose where adaptation makes sense and where it quietly asks too much. Navigating social reality doesn't mean avoiding discomfort or mastering every situation. It means learning to see the forces at play clearly and choosing how you engage without losing your footing. Awareness gives you options. It lets you move through pressure with dignity rather than absorbing it as self doubt. If this resonates, we explore these dynamics further across our work on navigating modern social spaces with clarity and intention.